Hi, welcome back to Grow New Plants. So today I'm going to finish the misting propagation bed. All I've really got left to do now is to add the weed cloth. I'm going to put down in the bottom, and I'm going to put a layer of gravel across the top of that, and that's pretty much it. The irrigation's run, the sprinkler timer's set up, ready to go on my misting cycles. So that's really all I got left to do. So this is a Vever, I'm not sure how you say it, landscape cloth, and I got this from Lowe's.com. Had a hard time finding anything. You can't find it locally. I pretty much had to go online to get it, and Lowe's has a really good selection of heavy-duty landscape cloths and stuff like that on their website, and I got it shipped to my house for free, so it's a pretty good deal. I'll put a link to that in the description, and there should be one up on the screen too. And then I got landscape stakes from Lowe's, and then I got some buckets. I needed some new buckets anyway, but I need buckets, so I'm going to rinse the gravel. This is 300 by 6 feet long, and my irrigation bed is 6 feet by 4 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 6 foot section across the 4 foot way, and then I'm going to cut about 7 or 8 feet long. So the whole thing is going to be roughly a foot on every side, or 2 feet longer and 2 feet wider. And then I'm going to put it down in there and then get it all staked in where I want it, and then I'll come back and trim it to size afterwards. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to reset up, and I'm going to lay this out, get it cut, and then we'll start putting it in. Okay, so I have this thing cut to size now, and I just did some measuring and laid out my holes. Hopefully they will match up right for the irrigation heads to go through the holes. Yeah, that's going to work. So I've got plenty of excess to trim off. So now I'll just get my landscape stakes, or the cloth stakes, stake it down here and there, and then I'll staple it along the sides and then trim off the excess. Okay, so I just have my little arrow stapler here. I think it's T50 staples or something like that. So what I'm going to do, I kind of looked at this for a while. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to press this thing tight here, because I'm going to have a little bit of gravel in here. It's going to help hold this in place. So I'm just going to hold it tight, and then I'm just going to staple right across the top like this. I'll just get it tight, staple, 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 and then I'm going to come back and I'll trim it right across the top of this edge. And I may even come back later and put a little trim piece across just to help hold this in place so it doesn't pull loose or anything, and just put across the top and just staple it down to help hold that in place. So this is going to be pretty tedious, so I'm not going to film all of this. Just basically going around the edges, and then I'll just staple it in as tight as I can around these corners, then I'll come back around with my scissors and trim all this off. Okay, so I have all the landscape cloth in there and tacked down good. So all I really got left to do is put the gravel in. And I know I said earlier I'm going to wash all this gravel. I tried washing one bag. That's going to be more work than it's worth. So I'm just pouring it in there. So I got 10 bags of gravel, but I'm going to pour 5 in here and just see if that's enough. Okay, I know that's not perfect, but I will come in here and I'll just get down on my hands and knees, kind of level that out with the board to get it as flat as I can. And then it'll be pretty much ready to put plants in. The last thing I need to do, because again, when I started making this, in between then I had to trim some trees up in the backyard and I lost a lot of my shade. So this thing's getting more sun than what I want it to. And I have some shade cloth, so I'm gonna go get the shade cloth and I'm gonna tack the shade cloth along the sides just to kind of help keep the sun out of the, off the cuttings. And it'll help hold the mist in too. That way the wind won't affect the mist. Okay, well, the last thing I've got to do here is I'm gonna put some shade cloth up. And I'd bought this shade cloth ahead of time, and I don't think it's very good shade cloth. I probably didn't buy a big enough piece, so it's not gonna go all the way to the bottom, but I think it'll be good enough for right now, and then I'll order some better shade cloth for it to put up later. So this thing is only 2 feet deep. I gotta figure out, yeah, it'll go all the way across. So I'm just gonna staple it. I'll just go ahead and pull it across. It's not gonna go all the way to the bottom, but it's gonna be better than nothing. Actually, I'm gonna move that all the way to the edge. It's a little bit longer than what I thought it was, so I can take it all the way to the edge. So anyway, I'll go around and staple this up, and then I'll show you how I laid this thing out as far as for my my pots to fit in here. So we'll throw a couple pots in there, and then I'll be ready to start doing some misting propagation. Okay, so everything's done. Like I said, this is not gonna work. It'll work temporarily, but I'm gonna get a better, probably get a little bit thicker. This is 40%, probably gonna get like maybe 50, 60% and big enough where it'll go to the ground. And then I'll weight the bottom of it where the wind doesn't blow it up. So anyway, that'll give me shade down in there for when the west sun is shaded now from when the last part of the video, but the west sun is going down below the houses. But the west sun is gonna really hammer this stuff, so I'm gonna need the shade cloth, at least on this side. So I'm gonna show you the inside again. I'll just pull that up. And the way that I laid this thing out is these trays here are 24 count 4-packs. There's 6 4-packs that go in each one. And so there'll be individual cells, almost individual cells. So that way, if I do cuttings and say I have 1 4-cell of them that did not take, I can pull those out and they're not taking up space while the rest of them are still growing. And then these are something new that I got. These are all individual cell root makers. I think they're called Express, Root Maker Express. And so I built this thing to where it'll go 5 of these deep and 5 of those deep that way. And I think I figured it up. It's gonna give me, I don't know, like close to 200 cells in here. So I can have up to 200 cuttings going at a time in here. So anyway, so I'm ready to start putting cuttings in it now. I'll get in there tonight and order some new shade cloth. But I'm ready to start doing cuttings. And I'm trying to get this done in time. I wanted to try and get some crepe myrtle cuttings done. So that's my goal, is to get some crepe myrtles going in here. It's a little bit late, but it's time of year to do that, but it's towards the end of it. So that's my goal, is to try and get a bunch of crepe myrtle cuttings going in here. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you.